Hello everybody and welcome to the Action Figuratorium. My name is Mark Major. I am a real big toy collector here in the Southeast Portland. I am also the old school sales and marketing guy, and kind of a slow news day. We're going to take a look at a Kickstarter. It is of course a toy. It is not an action figure. It is a designer toy. Now I do like designer toys, urban vinyl as it's sometimes referred to. I like things by the Max Toy Company. I've got a whole bucket full of those kid robot dunnies and monies or moonies. I'm not sure how they're called. Well, it doesn't matter. I got a bucket full of that stuff and some other obscure art toys by different designers as well. So I figure this is kind of adjacent. It's something that you find here in the Atorium, as it were, art toys. And we're going to take a look at this Kickstarter for Wayward Ghouls designer monster toys. And, it's not terrible, but also there's always so many more things you can do with these campaigns, and I try to bring that out when I do my analysis. So for this one, everybody come together, strap on the leather, hold on tight. We're going to cut over to the desktop cam. Before I do that, hold on, let's do this. All right, so normally I am in the corner, and I'm not in the corner. So let's put me back in. All right, there we go. Everyone, crisis averted. So I guess we should start off by playing the guy's intro video. I think that kind of tells you all you need to know. So let me make it full screen for you folks. Let me turn the desktop audio on. Let me turn me off, and here we go.
Gross, creepy, lonely. Hi there, I'm Michael Herring, lifelong monster fan and creator of the Wayward Ghouls. I've always been inspired by the creatures from the 80s and the 90s. They were zany, disgusting, unique, and ready to accept any weirdo kid as one of their own. As a collector of creatures new and old, I felt it was time for a new batch of monster friends for grown-up collectors. Monsters for people who appreciate the design, personality, and attention to detail you might expect from a film prop, but in the form of a designer toy. My background is in graphic design and filmmaking, so I knew I would need an amazing collaborator to bring our first Wayward Ghoul.
Is this guy drunk?
Luckily, I'd found that collaborator in someone I'd long admired, Adam Doherty, aka Creature Kid. Adam has a talent for finding the balance between the monstrous and the playful. Adam is one of the most unique creature creators working today, and to my surprise and delight, he was excited to come on board. The first critter from Wayward Ghouls is Squeaks, and as you can see, Adam's sculpt perfectly captures this derpy but earnest character who's creepy cute and adorably gross. Squeaks is our guide to this found family of monster misfits who don't fit in anywhere except with each other. I hope Squeaks warms your dark heart just as he warms mine. If we're successful with this crowdfunding campaign, I plan to keep building the world of the Wayward Ghouls, adding all new creatures of different...
All right, I think we get it. Squeaks. All right, Wayward Ghouls. It's this thing here. It's mainly plastic with some plushy elements, some fur added. Question marks, there must be other figures, creatures coming. This is the guy who worked on it. The other stuff that they showed in the video, to me, looked pretty cool. So this is what the figure looks like without the fur. And that's the main dude. Forget what his name is already, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't know any of these guys. Maybe in the designer world, these were all well-known folks. Not really well-known to me, but that's okay. They still want my money. And there's Squeaks again. So you're probably wondering, oh, how much is this Squeaks? Well, let's go to the rewards. Let's find out. So launch day special, $134 for this thing. Then the super early bird specials, $145. Don't understand that. Then the early bird's $150. Then there's the Kickstarter special, $175. Then there's a 2-pack. They're about $140 each. Then there's something called the 4-pack, and that's it. There are no add-ons. There is nothing else you can get with this. You can't get a shirt, you can't get a coin, you can't get a hat, you can't get a poster, there's no comic book, there's nothing else. It's just Squeaks for anywhere between $135 and $175. Kind of unclear on that. There's so many packages. 54 people have plunked money down on this. He's almost at $8,000, needs $49,000. So his mold, as well as to get some of these produced, is around $50,000. And don't know if that includes paying the guy who did the designer stuff or any of the factory people. Lot of questions regarding all of his ideas with these pricing. What this is called in my world is carrot and stick. The idea is to get somebody to buy now, and you incentivize them through either some kind of an exclusive thing that you can only get now, or through price, right? The other carrot and stick attempt made by someone trying to raise money is to get people to buy as many as possible. So you try to give people discounts if they buy multiples, because the action figure or toy production of getting these made in a factory in China is a quantity battle. You need to make as many as possible to satisfy the factory. They have requirements. They're not going to touch something unless they get to make X amount for X amount of money. And of course, the more you make, well, the cheaper they are. And the cheaper they are, the more money you make off them. So there's a big incentive always to get people to buy as many as possible. And the best way to do that is either an exclusive, right, or the price. If you give discounts, and the bigger the discount, the bigger the carrot and stick. And so when this launch day one is over, you'll no longer be able to get it for $134. There will just be the early bird, and I don't know how long the early bird lasts, but eventually the early bird will fall off, and you'll get just the super early bird. Then you'll get just the early bird for $150. Don't know how long that's going to last, but then they'll drop off, and then it will be $175. So the incentive today is don't pay $175, get $31 off if you buy on the launch day. And then every day that you don't buy one of these, well, it kind of kicks up. It's kind of like a ticking, sort of fuse in a way, where it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. The incentive is to get you to buy now. Not sure that that's the best strategy for this, but I can see that that's what he's trying to do. There is a little bit of a strategy of getting people to buy multiples, although I don't know why you would want multiples of this figure other than gifts or something, or you're going to resell them, or you just want a lot of them, or maybe some people are going to go in together. Don't know why you'd want two of these. Kind of struggling on why you'd want one. Definitely don't understand why you would want two of these. And then, of course, there is, from what I can tell, I didn't see any kind of unlocks, tiers. There's nothing if we hit this much, something, another figure. I mean, there's a hinting at it. Let's be honest, I stopped watching the video at this point, but I kind of got what they were going for. They're making this thing. Okay, so I guess we should probably take it back over to just Mark and the camera now and talk a little bit about this. This thing is going to make or break itself in the designer toy market if people think this is cool, or else people think that this artist is something they need to collect. Some people collect certain things by certain people. Some people collect certain things because they're cool. And if this thing is deemed cool, well, then a lot of people will plunk down money and buy it. Now, do I think this thing is cool? Not really. And here's why. Below me here, and I'm going to show you on camera, I have 3 tchotchke kids monsters, just like the Wayward Ghouls, that are sold for pretty cheap to young kids in the crib to play with. Let me show you these. Let's start with this. This is a Furby, right? Looks a lot like the kind of like that ghoul in a way, doesn't it? Well, let's keep going. How about this? How about this creature? This is like plastic, and plastic and plastic, and then it's got a wire frame inside, and it's essentially a stuffed animal, and it's also kind of psychedelic. What do you think, people? Are you freaked out by this? You want to hear a little speech that it gives? I don't know what you got to do to make it talk. I don't know if this is like some sort of motion activated or not. Anyways, this is pretty, you know, get your third eye on. It's got wires in it. You can bend it. Anyways, this is some tchotchke I picked up at a thrift store for next to nothing. Some kid's toy. And how about this? This is plastic, and this has got a little bit of fur on it. And, you know, little tail lights up, freaks out. So this thing hangs off of a crib, and, you know, kids play with it and they go nuts for it. So this stuff already kind of exists. If this guy thinks that he's making something kind of one of a kind, unique, well, yeah, in an art toy kind of way, but in a toy, not really. There's a bunch of things like this, and in some ways I think I think this is scarier. Yeah, see? Everyone seems to agree. But I would love to hear other people's comments. Am I way off base? Do I not understand the designer toy market? Shut up down there. Do I not understand the designer toy market? Am I just kind of an older curmudgeon? Maybe I'm just one of these guys who doesn't want to let anything new in, and I just like the stuff I like. Who knows? Love to hear other people's opinions, because you know what? Sometimes those are the real opinions that count. So, thanks to everybody who made it this far into the video. You know who you are. Liking, subscribing, something that happens on your own time, but together, all of us, stay charged.